Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
The annual Athens Halloween Block Party is almost here. Good evening, I'm Justin Holbrook.
And I'm Abby Grisey. Thanks for joining us. Each year, the festivities are coupled with meter bagging and street closings. This year, all meters on Court Street will be bagged beginning at 4 in the morning on Saturday, October 29th. Court Street will close at 10 a.m. Saturday from State to Carpenter, and all alleys that access Court Street will be closed. Beginning at 7 in the morning on Friday, October 28th, no parking will be available on Mill Street. Your car will be towed if it is not moved by 10 a.m. on Friday. The street will reopen at 5 in the evening on Sunday, October 30th.
Several Ohio University facilities will be renovated after the Board of Trustees approved many projects this past Friday. Measures include the demolition of several dorms on South Green, renovations to Alden Library, and roof repairs on several buildings. There's also a plan in the works to update the signs around the university. Those proposed guidelines are set to be presented to the board in early 2017.
Ohio House candidates Jay Edwards and Sarah Grace debated last night in a 2-hour-long forum organized by the Athens League of Women Voters. The nominees discussed taxes, jobs, fracking, and education. Edwards focused on natural gas jobs, while Grace focused on an investment in the arts. The final public forum will take place on Monday.
One OU ecologist and her students are testing a type of grass on its ability to help the environment. Sarah Davis told the Athens News she and her students planted 5 species of high grass in 2013. Now they're testing that grass to see how much biofuel it can produce. That fuel would reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and the grass is set to be harvested in January.
Athens residents will be seeing new recycling bins within the next few weeks. The 64-gallon rolling containers will be distributed to all residents sometime between next Monday and Friday. Each bin is equipped with a microchip assigned to each address, which will help return lost cans and even track recycling usage in the future.
Good evening and welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Allison Gens. Right now in Athens, it's 60 degrees. We have a mix of sun and clouds out there. Humidity's at 50% and winds at east 8 miles per hour. Now around the region, temperatures starting to drop off a little bit as we head into our evening hours. 63 in Newark, 63 also in New Martinsville, 61 in Chillicothe and Jackson, 59 in Ripley, and 60 in Ironton. And overnight tonight, temperatures are going to go down slightly, and we're going to start seeing a possibility for some rain showers moving in as we head into our evening hours. So 9 p.m. well, 56 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Those clouds begin rolling in around midnight, 55 degrees, and then by 3 a.m. 54 degrees. There's a slight chance of rain showers, about like a 30% chance around 3 a.m. But that chance of rain is going to increase as we head into tomorrow. So looks like some rain showers are in store, and I'll tell you about what you can expect about your day for tomorrow in my extended forecast.
Democrats say Republican Appeals Court Judge Pat DeWine faces a conflict of interest if he's elected to the state Supreme Court. The party says Pat DeWine would have to face frequently stepping down since his father, Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine, often has cases before the court. The younger DeWine says he received assurances that no conflict exists as long as his father is not in court. And advocates for the homeless and the Ohio Democratic Party are coming together. They're asking the Supreme Court to block election rules that could disqualify thousands of absentee and provisional ballots in Ohio because of minor mistakes or omissions. The emergency appeal was filed earlier today.
West Virginia's Republican nominee for governor says ending straight ticket voting was the right thing to do. Bill Cole helped end straight ticket voting, which could have helped him in a state where Trump remains popular. Under the straight voting ticket system, voters could pull one lever to choose the party's candidate on top and automatically select all the other party nominees straight down the line. 2 Ohio lawmakers want to change a state law in an effort to clear the way for voters to take ballot selfies. Republican Representatives Niraj Antani of Miamisburg and Mike Duffy of Worthington are sponsoring the bill. They say the bill will let voters photograph and make their marked ballots public.
You are fascinated with sex and you don't care about public policy.
Me?
Now that's
Really?
what I...
Fox's Megyn Kelly and former House Speaker Newt Gingrich had a heated face-off yesterday.
And only 13 days until Election Day, we'll bring you the latest. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like we're having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
With just 13 days to go before Election Day, both Donald Trump and Mike Pence are breaking the traditional election playbook, spending time outside of the battleground states. This comes just as a new poll shows Donald Trump holding a slight lead in Florida, a state Trump himself says is a must-win. Scott McLean has this report.
It's an unconventional campaign move, even for an unconventional candidate.
With the notable exception of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, this is the most coveted piece of real estate in Washington, D.C.
Donald Trump spent the morning opening his brand new hotel. Critics question the time off the trail so close to the election, but not his campaign.
And we're very excited to show America what this man actually does. He fixes things, he builds things.
The grand opening speech had a clear political message.
My theme today is 5 words: under budget and ahead of schedule. We don't hear those words too often in government, but you will.
Trump's running mate Mike Pence is also taking a detour, this one to reliably Republican Utah, where Trump is holding on to a less than comfortable lead. But Trump's work in battleground states may be paying off. The latest New Hampshire poll shows him closing the gap to just 4 points. And in Florida, a new poll shows him with a slight 2-point lead. Both polls are within the margin of error. Hillary Clinton is spending her 69th birthday fighting for support in Florida. But she also took time Tuesday to accept an endorsement from Adele, though she can't win the British singer's vote. Beyond the Washington ribbon cutting, Trump promised to focus on North Carolina, New Hampshire, and Florida. Nationally, he is slowly closing the gap, but with a new ABC News poll showing him still 9 points down, it's an uphill battle to win. In Washington, I'm Scott McLean.
Florida has 29 electoral votes. About 1.6 million people have already voted in the state.
Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly and staunch Donald Trump supporter Newt Gingrich both got pretty personal during a contentious interview last night. CNN's Carol Costello has more.
Newt Gingrich melts down, angrily accusing Megyn Kelly of Fox News of being obsessed with sex after she brought up the Billy Bush tape. You have to see it to know what I'm talking about.
The 3 major networks spent 23 minutes attacking Donald Trump that night and 57 seconds on Hillary Clinton's secret speeches. You don't think this is a scale of bias worthy of Pravda and Izvestia? I mean, you want to know why Donald Trump's had a rough time?
If Trump is a sexual predator, that is...
He's not a sexual predator.
Okay,
you
that's
can't
your
say
opinion.
That.
I'm not taking a position
defend
on
that
it.
statement.
I am not taking a position on it.
I'm sick and tired of people like you using language that's inflammatory, that's not true.
Excuse me, Mr. Speaker.
Donald
you have
Trump
no
was not
idea
this...
whether it's true or not. What we know is that
neither,
there are at
neither
least...
do you.
That's right, and I'm not taking a position on it,
No,
unlike
yes, you are. When you use the words, you took a position.
So what
and I think
said
it's very
is
unfair of you to do that, Megan.
Incorrect.
I think that is exactly the bias people are upset by.
I think that your defensiveness on this may speak volumes, sir.
No,
what I said
let me just
is
suggest to you.
No, let me make my point, and then I'll give you the floor. What I said is if Trump is a sexual predator, then it's a big story. And what we saw on that tape was Trump himself saying that he likes to grab women by the genitals and kiss them against their will.
You are fascinated with sex, and you don't care about public policy.
Me?
Now, that's
Really?
what I get out of watching you tonight.
You know what, Mr. Speaker, I'm not fascinated by sex, but I am fascinated by the protection of women and understanding what we're getting in the Oval Office. And I think the American voters would like to know.
And therefore, we're going to send Bill Clinton back to the East Wing because, after all, you are worried about sexual predators.
Yeah, listen, it's not about me. It's about the women and men of America. And the poll numbers show us that the women of America in particular are very concerned about these allegations and in large part believe that they are a real issue. And
do you want to
don't dismiss the women
on whether the Clinton,
summarily.
Do you want to comment on whether the Clinton ticket has a relationship to a sexual predator?
We, on the Kelly File, have covered that story as well, sir. I will tell you the polls.
I just want to hear you use the words. I want to hear you use words, Bill Clinton, sexual predator. I dare you. Say Bill Clinton, sexual predator.
But he's not on the ticket. And the polls also show that the American public is less interested in the deeds of Hillary Clinton's husband than they are in the deeds of the man who asks us to make him president, Donald Trump. We're going to have to leave it at that. And you can take your anger issues and spend some time working on them, Mr. Speaker. Thanks for being here.
And you too.
During a hotel opening, Donald Trump responded to the heated exchange by congratulating Gingrich.
And by the way, congratulations, Newt, on last night. That was an amazing interview. That was an amazing... We don't play games, Newt, right? We don't play games.
The interview and Trump's response came with exactly 2 weeks left before the election.
While a record number of Americans are now benefiting from health insurance, a premium hike for Obamacare enrollees could be a tough pill to swallow. Mary Maloney has the latest on the changes that could impact you.
As Obamacare and the healthcare.gov marketplace enter into their fourth year, some will experience sharp rate increases. People looking to sign up for the Affordable Care Act for 2017 will see premiums go up. According to a government report, some could see an average increase of 22% for the benchmark silver plan next year, costing about $296 per month. After the announcement, both presidential candidates pounced.
My first day in office, I'm going to ask Congress to put a bill on my desk getting rid of this disastrous law and replacing it with reforms that expand choice, freedom, affordability. You're going to have such great health care at a tiny fraction of the cost, and it's going to be so easy.
The Clinton camp says while the Affordable Care Act is on the right path, there are some aspects that need improvement. Insurers on the government exchange say they are raising rates after losing money the first couple of years because of sicker than anticipated enrollees and not as many young, healthy customers. But the Department of Health and Human Services stresses most people will not feel the price hike.
For the 11 million in the marketplace, 85% of those folks actually have the tax credits or the subsidies that help them. And those subsidies are designed to move as premiums move. So for those folks, they will be insulated from those changes.
I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
Matthews says the Affordable Care Act has kept premiums and health costs in check for most Americans who get health insurance through their employers. She also said 85% of people with ACA policies get government subsidies and tax credits to make premiums more affordable.
Shares of Southwest Airlines went into a tailspin this morning, falling 11%. Southwest attributes the loss to lower than expected sales due to declining ticket prices, while overall revenue was down only slightly. It fell short of forecast, and things are expected to get worse before they get better. Southwest says fares will decline by another 4 to 5% in the fourth quarter. Shares of rivals American Airlines, United Continental, and Delta Airlines were also slightly lower than the open.
Are smartwatches still a cool must-have accessory? Apparently not. Worldwide sales for smartwatches plummeted 52% in the third quarter compared with the same period last year. That's according to a report by the market analysis company IDC. Apple's watch saw a 72% decline in sales from last year. While these luxury watches include features to call, text, and monitor fitness, they come at high costs. On Wall Street today, stocks tumbled as Apple loses more than $20 billion in market cap. Here's a look at stocks of local interest.
Would you get a flu shot in the back of a car? That's what Uber is promoting this fall. We've got those details coming up.
Seasonal temperatures have been keeping things feeling like fall, but is another warm up ahead? I'll let you know my extended forecast next on Newswatch.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB, and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.
Good evening and welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Allison Gens. It's been a seasonable fall day out there today, and right now in Athens it's 60 degrees. We have a mix of sun and clouds, and our winds are east at 8 miles an hour. Now, looking at our temperatures around the region, in the low 60s, we have 62 in New Lexington, 63 in Marietta and New Martinsville, a little bit cooler, 59 in Ripley, and 60 in Ironton. And our almanac today shows we were right on target with our seasonable temperatures. 63 was our high temperature today, and that's right at our normal temperature for this time of year. 45 was our low temperature, a tiny bit warmer than our average for today. Our record high was 84 in 2010. We did not get quite that hot today. And our sunset was just right after our show began at 6:33. Now, looking at our precipcast for tonight, we had high pressure over the region. That's moving its way out, being replaced by this cold front that's working its way in. That's going to continue to move its way in tonight, possibly bringing us some showers into the early morning hours, but we'll start to really see those showers move in tomorrow throughout the day. They'll continue to work their way through the morning and our early afternoon hours, hopefully and most likely moving out by around 5 p.m. So your evening commute back home looks like it might be dry, but make sure you bring along that umbrella just in case, and especially for your morning hours. Now, our overnight lows are dropping down to the low 50s and upper 40s, 47 in Cambridge, 51 in New Martinsville, 53 in Marietta, with that slight chance of rain moving its way in into our early morning hours. Now tomorrow, warming up around exactly what we were feeling today in the 60s. We have 62 in New Lexington, 65 in Marietta, 68 in Ripley, might even hit 70 degrees for Ironton with that chance of rain showers, but that chance is a little bit less as we head south in our region since that system is working its way more toward our northern portion. Now tomorrow, 52 degrees for our high, or excuse me, tonight 52 degrees for our high temperature or low temperature, with mostly mostly cloudy skies and that slight chance of rain after 3 a.m. And then tomorrow morning at the bus, staying cool again, 53 degrees. That's what we'll be hitting our low temperature early in the morning right then with that chance of rain. Otherwise, overcast skies, and then tomorrow we'll see as our high temperature 65 degrees with that 50% chance of rain. Temperatures dropping to the 40s overnight, then 62 for Friday. But then look at Saturday for your Halloween, 74 degrees. So it's warming up again for our weekend. And then as you look ahead into next week, see temperatures returning to the mid to lower 70s. So it's been feeling like fall, but we have some warmer days still ahead to look forward to. I'll send it back to Justin and Abby.
Thanks, Allison. Uber delivers food and sometimes even puppies. On Tuesday, they delivered free flu shots in Houston, along with a registered nurse to administer them.
Star Alexander drives for Uber 3 to 5 times a week. Today, her passenger isn't a typical Uber passenger.
This is all new to me.
In the back seat, Kim Risen. She's a nurse with Passport Health, and she Ubered all over the Providence area to administer free flu shots to anyone who requested one through the Uber app.
I think it's a great idea because there's no excuse. If I can come to you and give you your flu shot, you can't say, well, you know, I'm too busy, or, you know, I can't get to the doctor, or, you know, in some places run out of flu vaccines, you know, and this way, I'm coming to you, so there really is no excuse. You don't have to go anywhere.
Kim hit the road today with 40 vaccines.
Have you ever done anything like this before? Never. Never. This is the first, so I'm excited about it.
Twitter was excited about it too. We checked the hashtag Uber for Health and found lots of posts from the 15 cities where Uber delivered flu shots. The mayor of Syracuse, New York, even tweeted a photo of herself getting a flu shot this afternoon.
16 other major cities were part of Tuesday's Uber flu shot campaign. Uber doesn't have numbers, but stated via Twitter that demand was high. Now let's head over to Taylor Nimmo for sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Taylor Nimmo. Last night the Indians shut out the Chicago Cubs in Game 1 of the World Series. Stay tuned for a recap of that game and a preview of Game 2, next on Newswatch. Stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station. Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB, and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Taylor Nimmo. The Ohio Bobcats will be on the road tomorrow to face Toledo in the Glass Bowl. While Toledo is currently undefeated in the West Division of the MAC, the Bobcats are tied for first at 3-1 with Akron for the East. Even though Toledo has proven that they can score, the Bobcats are known for keeping it close. In fact, they haven't lost a game by more than 9 points all year, and that was in their game against Tennessee. The game will be televised on the CBS network at 7:30. Last night, the sports world was fixated on Cleveland, and wow, did their team show up. Right after the Cleveland Cavaliers got their rings, Game 1 of the World Series began in the land. Corey Kluber absolutely dominated the Chicago Cubs lineup, striking out 9 batters in his 6 shutout innings. Roberto Perez hit 2 home runs, including a 3-run bomb in the 8th inning to put the Tribe up 6-0. Andrew Miller and Cody Allen came in to help seal the shutout victory. Game 2 was originally scheduled for 8:08 tonight. Because of inclement weather, the game was pushed up to 7:08. Last night, the 2016 NBA champions were back to begin a new season and started the season off with a 117-88 win over the New York Knicks. Before the game, the energy was high at Quicken Loans Arena for the banner-raising ceremony. The players were able to carry out that energy into the game. LeBron James kicked off the season with 19 points, 11 rebounds, 14 assists, and his first ever season opener triple-double. Kyrie Irving also added 29 points. The Cavaliers will play their next game on Friday as they take on the Toronto Raptors. Although the NBA opener was last night, we're already seeing some upsets. The Golden State Warriors lost to the Spurs 129-100. Kawhi Leonard put on a show and had a career-high 35 points, which put the Warriors into some trouble. It was Kevin Durant's long-awaited debut, and he had 27 points and 10 rebounds. However, MVP Steph Curry seemed to struggle. Although he had 26 points, he was only 3 for 10 behind the three-point line. Golden State will go on the road to take on the New Orleans Pelicans on Friday. That's it for sports. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Taylor. This symbol of autumn has its own day. And no, it's not Halloween. October 26th is National Pumpkin Day. The gourd is a familiar sight in and outside of homes in late October and is often on the dinner table on November's biggest holiday, Thanksgiving. The pumpkin is native to North America, and the oldest evidence of pumpkin-related seeds were found in Mexico and dates all the way back somewhere between 7,000 and 5,500 BC. And now let's go over to Allison for one last look at weather.
Well, Justin, today was a perfect day actually to head out there and pick out your pumpkin if you haven't done that yet. We are getting closer to Halloween, so a little bit right at that point to go and pick out your perfect pumpkin. Now, right now, overnight tonight in Athens, 52 degrees for your low temperature with mostly cloudy skies. Then we might start to see a chance of showers moving in around 3 a.m. Winds south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, tomorrow warming up to 65 degrees with rain showers likely throughout the day, mainly before 5 p.m., but otherwise mostly cloudy skies with our winds again south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And looking at your extended forecast here, those showers in for Thursday, but then they move out for Friday, back into a warm front moving its way back in. 62 degrees as our high temperature for Friday, but then look at your Saturday if you're going out to the Halloween block party here in Athens, 74 degrees, but dropping back down to 69 on Sunday with a chance of rain moving its way in. So now that's your extended forecast. I'll send it back over to Justin and Abby.
Thanks, Allison. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Justin Holbrook.
And I'm Abby Grisey. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Friday nights are all about high school football, but when the games are over and the helmets come off, it's time for some gridiron glory. I'm your host, Danny Dean, back under center. Don't miss a play this season. Join myself and the rest of our team on Friday nights at 11:30 on WOUB and catch us again on Saturday mornings at 11:30. We are committed to bringing you the stories of players, coaches, and communities, and of course, we can't forget about some highlights. We all know there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.